little bit without saying just the fact that we're saying Cyan is kind of the underdog coming into this. So that'd be a really tough match for either one of these players. But I do think, I look at that lineup of players, Hero versus ShoWTimE. I do think ShoWTimE, while maybe not favored going into that, I think he is capable of doing that. I think same thing with Classic. Serral, we've seen ShoWTimE have really good series and stuff against. Maybe he could also do something there. And Cure, I think Cure would be, I think, a really tough one for him. But yeah, I can see some magic happening there.
Yeah, because I don't know how they do it with rematches and stuff, but yeah, I dare say they try to avoid those. And those other three names you mentioned, Classic, Serral, Hero, potentially the best of, you know, their races to go up against. So it's not easy whatsoever. You have two of the best Protoss players in the world up there. It's even for ShoWTimE, who's great with PvP, that's going to be kind of tough. But Ben, I think we actually have a game ready for us. We are moving on to ley lines down here in the bottom left-hand side of the map. On top of this red Protoss player, he is ShoWTimE. Representing his new team, Sentinels. Nice to see those lads in the StarCraft 2 scene. And spawning over in the top right, representing JD Gaming, the blue toss, it is Cyan. This is going to be mentally difficult for Cyan, physically difficult for Cyan. ShoWTimE is the kind of guy, he has tangoed with some of the best Protosses in the world recently. He is one of the few Protosses that has gone toe-to-toe with MaxPax over the past couple of years in all these online tournaments, and actually held his own to some extent. I know MaxPax has been regarded as one of the best PvP players on the planet, especially during the Wongay Expo. Oh my god, frustratingly good at that. But ShoWTimE was so willing to go SkyToss and match him in that every time, and you can't say that about just anybody. So yeah, ShoWTimE, he's a flexible fella, and right now we've got very similar builds going on for both these guys. Yeah, I feel like one thing I really respected about ShoWTimE during that era too is that he faced off against MaxPax, and he didn't just cave into saying like whatever MaxPax is doing as the best Protoss player or PvP player in the world is just what everyone should be doing. ShoWTimE would still kind of go off and do what he felt like was his best chance at things, and he would still give MaxPax that kind of run for his money. So I really do respect that ShoWTimE also just kind of finds his own niche and is like, yeah, you know what? This is the way I think StarCraft does need to be played. And he'll still do that even if it deviates from what maybe like the best player in the world is doing. So already it was Cyan yesterday that was going for the double Adept openings. Here, he's gone for a double Stalker play. Now, neither one going for the most standardly safe in the Stalker Sentry. But it does like ShoWTimE will want to be aggressive with the double Adept, at least just to test your opponent. It's the first game of a best of 5. I always like those kind of openings where it's like, okay, how good are you at dealing with the walling and stuff? Because that's one thing that Cyan definitely neglected quite a bit in his series against Hero. Yeah, and another double Stalker follow-up, so it's going to go up to the 4 Stalker. This is a really, really nice pressure play in the sense that it can both deal with any kind of adepts that are moving across the map, but it also can force make sure that your opponent did invest in the shield battery and everything back at home. It can potentially just kill any kind of really, really greedy builds. ShoWTimE did actually go for, I think, I saw 1 sentry. Was that 2 sentries? I think it was 2 sentries, 2 sentries, okay. So yeah, this can become a kind of scary moment if those Stalkers just find an opportunity to move across the map without the adepts able to find that damage. You can already see 2 Stalkers here. There's a shield battery, or a pylon over here with a shield battery coming on down, but even the shield battery can just get target fire down with 4 Stalkers eventually. That gets kind of scary. I mean, sentries are a lot better now against shields on Protoss units, so not too bad, but ShoWTimE is very aware of what's happening to him here. He did not see a Nexus going up as early as his. It is going up now, but Cyan already playing a little bit tricky because ShoWTimE, he doesn't know about that Nexus. In his eyes, this could be just a good old 4-gate at his front door, so he has to be careful and respectful here. I mean, there was a pylon on the low ground, and he's getting to see the warpins. Not too crazy warpins, though, going on there. That's a really nice scout, though. The fact that he does see, okay, it's like a warpins of some additional adepts, so this is going to be continued harassment. You're not just doubling down into what you were saying of, like 4 more gateways or something, coming out with pure Stalker reinforcements. That kind of stuff can get pretty scary.
scary, but that does mean that ShoWTimE can start to invest a little bit more things like, yeah, I can afford to observe it. I don't need to get a like immediate immortal because I'm getting all in.
No, definitely. And right now, it feels like ShoWTimE's been doing a very good job of just probing up, make sure he's not getting supply block, make sure he's not letting any of these adepts in his base either, which is also very smart. Gets an observer out immediately. We'll be able to find out exactly what's out there outside his base. And honestly, ShoWTimE will have enough to bust out of this pretty darn soon. And Cyan getting a Warp Prism behind it. So you will have that faster than you would have Blink. But it feels like his game plan is all about being in the face of ShoWTimE.
Yeah, what is the Warp Gate count out now? Can we get a quick check on that? It looks like it's just 2 for both of these players. So, I mean, if he is able to use that Warp Prism, I mean, this is what I was going to say. It's going to be scary because if you lose these units, that is absolutely massive. ShoWTimE slaughtering a lot of Cyan's forward forces. The sentries coming to reinforce a little bit too late there for Cyan are going to be in so much trouble. So much of the firepower is just gone now.
Oh no, there's more force fields available on both sides. I mean, the Warp Prism will help a lot for being able to save these units, but ShoWTimE just has way more firepower as well.
Oh, not quite able to get it, but he's going to get so many additional Stalkers. The Warp Prism can't even pick up that many more units. Another sentry goes down. This could just be a kill move now for ShoWTimE.
Oh, that Warp Prism there, it was so close to being sniped by a bunch of Stalkers, but now ShoWTimE with a 20 supply lead, bigger economy, better army. And Cyan, he does have a shield battery over here, but look at that. That is not enough to deal with this.
Yeah. ShoWTimE could invest in a Warp Prism if he really wants to commit to just, or going to all in. Actually, no, sorry, the Warp Prism is right there with his army. It looks like it has arrived. One Adept does get picked off over there. A lot of force fields being used for Cyan. I think he has maybe one more force field left over if he doesn't want to energy overcharge anytime soon. It looks like ShoWTimE is actually going to back off for the moment. Maybe just get a safe reinforcing warp in and take some of those units for some harassment, it looks like. Yeah, I don't hate that at all, honestly.
No, I think this is smart by ShoWTimE, and he's actually going for Adept Glaives behind this, along with a third.
Oh, that's got to be a very aggressive play, though, right? You just don't go Adept Glaives in PvP unless you are really looking to put on the pressure, because the Adept Glaives is not exactly an upgrade that does well later on.
No, it isn't. And look at this little squad over here as well. This is not easy to deal with. Nice pickup micro on the side of ShoWTimE, and gets away with his unit, staying alive, picked off 2 Stalkers, I do believe, and 2 probes there. So nice little trade. And right now, ShoWTimE knows that he's done better in these fights thus far. And the fact that he's got a third on the go, Cyan doesn't, and he's still so far ahead in supply. Both going for Glaives, by the way.
Wow, that's really fascinating to see. I'm so curious how this is going to end up actually panning out in the end.
Really badly for Cyan, I tell you that, because this is going to be so much more for ShoWTimE, and he's just going to have the same tech available.
Yeah.
This is very brutal. And I mean, you get to see that the Twilight Council is boosting, but army-wise, you've seen a lot of Stalkers, so you probably assume Blink, but Adept Glaives at this point, when you've just got more available, this is such a bad situation for Cyan.
Yeah, I think the one thing that can potentially turn things around here for Cyan is that if you are the one that gets aggressive first and are able to use those Adepts to just secure an economic advantage while you get additional tech up behind things, I think things can still sometimes turn out okay. You'll really get a lot more value out of that upgrade than your opponent, but I mean, the upgrade is finished here for ShoWTimE, and Cyan is actually the one that's going to be moving on out here. This is going to be really all about, oh man, the scout over here, even sees the Adepts. Yeah, I mean, that is so big here for ShoWTimE. He just has to execute the defense now really well.
He really does. That's all he needs to do. I mean, he's gathering a good 600 minerals more per minute. That's 6 Adepts more per minute. Every moment that goes by is a good moment for ShoWTimE. And kudos to Cyan. He's built up a very huge flock here. But remember, he's got to fight against shield batteries as well with this army. First Immortal does drop immediately, and shades are thrown, and Cyan, he has knocked on the front door of the big bear himself. Those Adepts get right in onto the army. Immortals are falling, and Cyan's doing whatever he can with that Warp Prism, but this is just a battle of numbers, and look at that. Cyan got absolutely melted.
ShoWTimE takes the first game. Cyan showing some good moves in here and there, but it really did just seem like ShoWTimE had figured out his early game opening with the early game defense, took that lead by killing off some of those units with those force fields, and just everything after that was ShoWTimE kind of in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, ShoWTimE's build and the way that he handled it, an earlier Nexus didn't over-respond to the kind of weird play that Cyan was throwing at him. And I feel that's something that ShoWTimE just does very well. Like, no matter how weird it was early on, he just did what he did, got on track, got his third base going, won the fights as well. You can tell that if they're both, I always like to talk about Tony Hawk's back in the day with the stat bars, but I feel that if Cyan is like 8s across the board, across everything, ShoWTimE is just that little bit better, but on every bar. And that game shows it to me, because all those fights, it was just, oh, ShoWTimE's winning. Oh, he's picking up more units. Oh, Cyan's got to go home. A base ahead as well. Really nice play from ShoWTimE, and he's looking fairly calm, trying to keep himself calm as well.
Yeah, PvP is also honestly a very unforgiving matchup with any of those kind of little losses. When you do, even in the early game, lose a couple of extra early units to a bad fight, things snowball so quickly in this matchup. You just lose all map control, your opponent pushes across the map, suddenly you're throwing down shield batteries while your opponent is taking the Nexus or something, or taking up some additional tech. You kind of saw a bit of that, but with a more extreme degree. This is definitely one of those matchups that you just cannot make mistakes in. And that is what this man up here in the top right-hand corner of the map is very good at not doing, is making mistakes. He is the red Protoss player. It is ShoWTimE from Team Sentinels.
And spawning over in the bottom left-hand side as our blue toss, representing JD Gaming, it is Cyan. I really hope for Cyan's sake that some of these tricks end up paying off, or just playing the nice solid Protoss 3-base situation, because yeah, it's brutal. This is the biggest stage that you'll play on throughout the whole year. The prize money is humongous. They're both already walking away with, what is it, $17,500 at this stage in time? Maybe 12.5?
Yeah, I mean, I know that going out in just the round of 16 is almost like $15,000. It is 17.5,
so a huge amount of money already. So, for those guys back at home, oh yeah, 5,000 more per for just winning this match alone. But a lot of people at home could be like, you know what, it's pretty good. Even if you lose, you go home. These guys did not come here to lose in the first round. I mean, they definitely want to walk home with something. Cyan definitely a huge underdog in the tournament overall. But ShoWTimE, he's a European that's been looking to make waves and moves happen. And I really feel that this is his time to shine. Yeah,
and I want to mention that in the last game, I believe ShoWTimE did the same thing as he's doing this game, where the probe comes in and says, I see one pylon, where's your second pylon? You're doing this again. Where there's nothing actually funky that came out in game number 1. But game number 2, he's going to use that proxy pylon and actually go for the Stargate. And again, for Cyan, this is going to look the same as game number 1. The only maybe difference is he's going to see, okay, are there Adepts versus Stalker Sentry and everything? And yeah, looks like it's gonna just end up being those Adepts again.
Yeah, and I always like these kind of plays as well, where those two Adepts will show themselves, and Cyan could very well be thinking, oh, he's doing the same thing again, right? Because it worked, why wouldn't you? But we already see this is very different. We are the all-seeing eyes over here, and those kind of plays are some of the most brutal when it really comes down to it. Gets to snipe the probe, and it's like, oh, you've got a pylon building here. I'm going to pretend that I really want that Nexus, so I'm not going to go across the map with those Adepts. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, this is really going to be annoying. That probe is going, oh man, it's leading that Stalker and the Sentry in such a weird and interesting angle. And it's going to send them so far away from home for this Oracle that's going to be coming on out. Does Cyan also send his next two Stalkers immediately outward? And yes, he does. He's sending them straight across the map.
And I think this was a lot about keeping those Adepts at home, Just the fact that it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about your first 2 units. So, again, just these little moves, these little mind games where you're constantly trying to make your opponent second-guess themselves and this army back at home. But upon seeing, okay, where's your gas? Where is it? And that's a nice shield battery in the main base for Cyan. Is it going to be in time, though? It doesn't look like it. And these hallucinations were a nice little play here, but...
Yeah, I mean, the Oracle is going to be able to get so much damage done over here, but the shield battery is going to be able to salvage the situation, it looks like. The Adepts also going to start taking a lot of damage here. That was such a nice hallucination play there from Cyan. I really have to point that out, because they absorbed so many of the initial early shots there. They also bought time for the rest of the units to get there. And now suddenly an Artosis pylon that's powering both of the warp gates is coming on out. One warp gate will get repowered with another one of these pylons, but that's one additional warp gate down in a situation where ShoWTimE is already kind of getting a little bit flustered, I would say, with some of the attacking that's going on.
It's all right, though. He did manage to get 2 of his own Stalkers out. The Oracle comes back as well, and a recall being done here, realizing that he won't be able to get away truly, and does lose a Stalker for his troubles. All things said and done, Blink on the way for both these players. Now, Stargate being out and available does mean you'll always have to worry about your mineral lines, which is a little bit brutal, but
I think even more than just the mineral lines, it's just the continuous, obviously you have the hallucinating Phoenix Scouts and everything that come out, but it's just the ability to continuously throw out revelations. You can throw up stasis traps. There's just so many annoying things you can get value with from that Oracle, even if the shield batteries are in each of those mineral lines, which just honestly denies most of the actual damage it can get done to the mineral line. It's still going to be such a great tool. So I agree with you, and I think I like this position overall for ShoWTimE, but I think Cyan's definitely got some still potential to turn things around. This is not a massive lead, I think.
No, not at all. It's always nice having the Oracle available, primarily for the stasis traps. But you're right, it's just this aggressive pylon over here. Cyan, again, wants to be the aggressive. Oh, is he going to spot? That is so damn close to being spotted there. That could have been actually a real thorn in his side, revealing the plans already. But we see stasis traps on the map. This could also be a little bit brutal, depending on where Cyan ends up going. But it looks like he's, I was going to say, navigating across. 3 Stalkers are caught out immediately. The little bottom lip of Cyan just kind of go, oh, that's not quite what I wanted there.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit annoying. It's going to delay this attack pushing across the map. But he's waiting for the warp gate, I guess, anyways. So has a little bit of extra time he can work with. And finds 3 or 2 force fields on 3 of those Stalkers. Kills one of them. The rest of them do manage to blink on by. Adepts also shading into the main base. Oh, this could get very annoying very quickly. Even just finding the damage in the natural at the same time. If he's able to mount the defense, ShoWTimE's going to be in a great position, but he has to mount that defense here.
He really does. He's against a pretty huge number, but he's getting those shield batteries online just in the nick of time. Has to be careful, though. That is a huge arch that he's marching into with those Stalkers. Gateway count's got to be pretty low for ShoWTimE. Cyan, though, he planned this. He's far more prepared for what's going to be happening here. Those Adepts, you are absolutely right. They are going to come in clutch for just slowing this down a little bit. But, the stasis! He did not know about it. A hero blink right into it, and that has bought ShoWTimE so much needed time. And here again to see where the warp in-gate is as well. That is brutal.
It's a disaster now for Cyan, and he has to now commit to this because all of his Stalkers are over here. ShoWTimE's going to be able to potentially engage against these. The probes also being pulled off the line just to absorb some additional firepower because ShoWTimE knows he did a lot of damage with his own Adepts. If he's able to keep this third base alive with all these shield batteries, he's going to be in a good spot. The Stalkers for Cyan are blinking on back. They're staying alive for a little bit. He's doing a great job with the micro, honestly. Is this going to be enough here for Cyan? The supplies are actually really, really even right now.
They're ridiculously even. The thing is, those shield batteries are in high numbers. Those shields are getting replenished here. ShoWTimE launching the counter-offensive here, keeping these Stalkers alive as best he can. And this was all or nothing for Cyan. Even use an aggressive blink for that pylon over there. And remember, ShoWTimE is on 3 Nexus. I believe that Cyan did get a 3rd Nexus up behind this, so that's actually a big deal, and he has teched into Immortals behind this as well.
Yeah, I think that's why I feel like Cyan, he did get up some semblances of the transition here, and ShoWTimE was also very focused on the defense. He was not exactly, getting up a robotics bay or any of the crazy stuff that you would do if you were just sitting back at home by yourself with no one really harassing you.
But look at this probe production. Like, I don't know how many probes ShoWTimE lost during those engagements, but the fact that Cyan is still only on 48 and he's
just not making them.
He's not probing at all.
Yeah.
He is not about making this a long, drawn-out game. He is all about what am I going to do next and how am I going to attack you? It's gateways, it's not probes, it's not extra gases either. He's on 4 gases, he's very happy with that. ShoWTimE just sticking with the 3. So ShoWTimE's going to have a very heavy gateway-centric army, and look at that, going straight into charge. And against Immortals, that's going to be quite nice.
Yeah, all the big gateway flooding come out from Cyan, as well as 5 of those gateways are about to be finishing on up. And Immortal getting focus fire down. A handful of these Stalkers are going to be falling here for ShoWTimE. A blink back is maybe going to be a bit dangerous, leading him into the stasis trap. beautiful detection there from Cyan. Realizes the stasis trap at the last second.
He's just so committed. 48 probes still. Like that income is going to start making a huge difference. ShoWTimE even taking a fourth Nexus behind this. Now, I have no idea how aware he is of everything that's going on behind this, but taking out those two Immortals, that was pretty huge. I don't necessarily think he needed to commit there, given that he's getting the counter to Immortals, but these Stasis, man, they are doing work here. They're just slowing down everything that Cyan wants to do, and he wants to be on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about the value of that Oracle that ShoWTimE had in relatively evenest positions earlier on. This is an awkward angle for ShoWTimE, though. He's going to have to retreat back from a very strange position, ends up recalling and barely fits all of the Stalkers in range of that. Oracle is on the other side of the map looking to find any kind of damage or maybe just scouting, I guess, for additional tech transitions. Sees that there's nothing. Zealot's going to get warped in over here for ShoWTimE, and +1 weapons is about to finish for him as well.
Oracle's going to go ham, though, slowing down the reinforcements by just being here, tickling those probes. And right now, again, Cyan needs damage done. He's only got one sentry in this mix, 4 force fields if he wants, so maybe for a Guardian Shield instead. But this army, it's got one opportunity here, and more Immortals coming out for ShoWTimE, a big switcheroo for him, and having that front line of Zealots is going to be huge for these engagements. But look how patient ShoWTimE's being. He's not going all in, he's utilizing those shield batteries at the back here for his Blinky boys, keeping the Zealots, building up that number as well. I love it, and now he's going to go in. The Immortal in the back there, you can't blink on it because you're just going to fall into the fire of all the other units, and wow, takes down the Warp Prism, does ShoWTimE, and here, that army of Cyan just gets absolutely obliterated once again. ShoWTimE 2-0.
A big lead there for ShoWTimE. Definitely a strong game in a lot of ways for Cyan, but once again, ShoWTimE finding these little leads and finding ways to just carry it into a bigger and bigger and bigger lead. That Oracle has got to be MVP of that game, though, Ben.
That Oracle did a lot. Like, it did a little bit of damage initially, but then just keeping it alive. One of the players that I saw initially being so good with Oracles after the fact was MaxPax, just having stasises out here, there, and everywhere. But that slowed down stuff more than we'd ever know. Like, you could see that Cyan, he is an emotional player. You can see it on the webcams and stuff, but he was definitely reacting. And the fact that that blink went into the third, if that stasis wasn't there, we could be looking at a totally different result. So that stasis alone changed the course of this game. And yeah, it just shows you that ShoWTimE is using all the tricks and knowledge and experience that he has to stay alive, but then also just to recoup, get back on track. He's playing a good series. They're both playing a good series, but ShoWTimE just edging it out just a little bit.
Yeah, I like that Cyan is doing things that are just a tiny bit tricky. It's not so far off the beaten path. It's not super abnormal or anything, but it's just, okay, I'm going to do one of these openings that maybe Protoss players don't do quite as often, which is just going for the 4 Stalker pressure and everything in game number 1. Game number 2, just getting a little bit more aggressive and everything and halting the pro production a bit earlier to just go for that big attack before really investing in that third base. So little things like that, I like the ideas from Cyan. It's just execution-wise, it's so tough to pull off against ShoWTimE. You have to be perfect with everything, and ShoWTimE is just showing with standard play how he can defend and deal with a lot of these kind of little nuances of the aggression.
He's very good at it. Like, you see that before the fight happens, you've got 2 or 3 shield batteries coming in at exactly where the fight's going to happen and stuff. So ShoWTimE's just very solid all around, and there's a reason why he's been known as the Wall for such a long time. Speaking of, spawning over in the top left-hand side here, our Red Protoss playing for Team Sentinels, it is ShoWTimE.
And down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. He's going to need energy to try and mount this 3-0 comeback, being down in an 0-2 deficit. It is Cyan.
Chinese fans here giving him their energy, and he needs it. No lifelines left for him. So far, nothing's been working out. I mean, he's been close. You really felt it. Without that stasis trap, that game too could have been very different, but you're against a man that utilizes the full potential of Protoss. All their tricks, all their shenanigans, even the build order choices and stuff, like the fact that he showcased the 2 Adepts and did something totally different with it. ShoWTimE's not easy to go up against.
Yeah, it is very, very frustrating to go up against, I think, for a lot of people.
Ooh.
We do see our observer Insano pointing out the minerals building on up. A fast Nexus over here relative to the last 2 games. And that is just going to be still a normal looking build and everything, but it's just, you know, Nexus before Cyber is definitely a bit faster than the normal.
That is very fast.
Yeah.
And on a map without a ramp to your natural, ShoWTimE absolutely, I would imagine, is going to change what he had in mind. And
maybe he doesn't need to.
Well, I mean, like, I guess...
This is a proxy robo position, I feel like.
It could be a proxy robo, proxy 3-gate. It could be a lot. It could also be, you know, seeing how early that was really is, yes.
Yeah.
And he is going to go for the proxy robo. But, yeah, the fact that he scouts it immediately, doesn't go into the main or anything, he's just like, you know what? Proxy pylon, robo, let's go. This is the kind of game you want to play, eh? Well, I've played against one of the best in the world at this that's done it for years against me. Let's see how you deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a practice partner you could ask for of how to try and punish this, it would be MaxPax. And ShoWTimE has played a lot of games of this exact situation against MaxPax. We got the Adepts coming on out, but follow-up 3rd and 4th Adepts also coming on out here for ShoWTimE. So this is also going to be paired in with those Immortals he'll be making. Now, Cyan has his probe up in the top right-hand corner, looking around for the proxies. He's going to send in the hallucinating Phoenix Scout and sees, okay, yeah, you clearly are not going for any kind of expansion or anything, but where is the proxy? What am I about to be facing? And he should know pretty soon.
He definitely should. I mean, the fact that he sees that 3rd gate going up in the main as well, and it's an aggressive Warp Prism coming out very early. I was kind of wondering, oh, the 3rd gate is not an aggressively placed, but you can use the Warp Prism to do the job of warping in everything very aggressively and very quickly.
Now, he looks like he's going to use that Warp Prism maybe to elevator those Adepts up into the main base, bypass any of the potential walling and stuff, and then also send in 2 of the Adepts over the natural. I like this. It is going to get spotted immediately, and that is, I mean, if Cyan had any doubts about what he's facing off against, that should, you know, really solidify. But I think he already knew at this point. Adepts are going to be trying to find some damage, and ooh, Force Field not quite going to be protecting those probes, and going to find, what, 4... No, not quite.
That was unfortunate. The Adepts were too far apart that the shots weren't synced up properly, but still, the damage is not over. And here, I love the fact that he sent out those shades nice and early here for those Adepts. Does get 1 away, 6 probes for his Shovels. And remember, that Immortal count, it's growing behind this. Getting in Stalkers as well with the army. This is going to be very scary. Do we have any Immortals in production at all for Cyan? I think he had a Robo done, but... No, just gateways actually at this point.
Yeah, it's just going to be a pure gateway defense, utilizing that superior economy with the 30 workers. Going to try and ambush these units before the second Immortal pops. So the second Immortal popping is going to make it so difficult to engage against this. Maybe if you get some magnificent force fields or something, you can really take advantage of the fact that the Warp Prism can't pick up every single unit all at the exact same time, but ShoWTimE is really good at this Warp Prism micro, Ben. It is going to be a tough ass to defend against this attack.
And that is a lot of shield batteries coming online as well, and that Warp Prism has got a big job on its hands to keep these units alive, and the force fields on both sides pretty darn good. Those shield batteries are sort of half drained, but we've got 2 more incoming as well. So far, Cyan's doing a good job of holding this. Nice wall in at the ramp as well. He's not looking to go down without a fight.
Yeah, ShoWTimE's Immortals having trouble pairing up together to focus fire down like a single Stalker through the shield battery healing or anything. So none of these Stalkers for Cyan really falling. And even more shield batteries now finish up for this next round of the engagement. Warp Prism Micro is great here for ShoWTimE. But Cyan, he's continuing to just try and buy more and more time. That first Phoenix going to be coming on out is going to be a big, big game changer for that Warp Prism, having to deal with the Phoenix continuously harassing it, and also just the pickup potential against the Immortals. Can he survive for it, though? One Immortal does get picked up. It gets focus fire down. That is a great pickoff there for Cyan, but he needs to now start pulling the probes to deal with the additional rounds of reinforcements here.
Yeah, and a 3rd Immortal does join the fray, and yet again, and I mean, Cyan, he's looking kind of battered and bruised at this point. All the shield battery energy is down. The probes are getting absolutely massacred at this point. The Adepts doing a great job against those light armored units. Going to try and pick up that Immortal and get it down before the Phoenix. No! Ooh. He gets to save that Immortal just in time, keeping the high value units alive. Does lose it though. Nice snipe by Cyan, but more units getting marched into the fray here. He's got Stalkers, Immortals alive, another Phoenix, but does he have enough to take it out? I don't think so at this point. ShoWTimE is making it happen. And look at those Stalkers, the last of the army. And I think ShoWTimE, he's done it, he's clinched it. You can see on Cyan's face, it's real what has happened. GG, ShoWTimE, 3-0 Cyan.
Well done, well executed by Dmauer, our PvP legend, and he is going to keep his hopes and dreams alive in the event, while Cyans are unfortunately going to be put to an end here. Really, really incredible PvP. Despite the fact that I know Cyan did end up losing the series and also the 1 versus Hero, I feel like no one can look at those series and say Cyan didn't actually play really, really solid PvP for a lot of these games. He still showed some really amazing potential against, again, world-class players. There is no easy player to defeat here at the Esports World Cup now.
No. I mean, like, the thing is, you look at his bracket, and it's like you had Hero in the first round, then you had ShoWTimE in the lower bracket, and it's like...
That is brutal.
Yeah, it's not one of those things that you can say, oh yeah, I expected you to at least like win a series against one of those. Like, no. Even not winning a map it's brutal. It looks brutal on paper, but Cyan actually played better than I thought he was going to coming into this. So well played to the guy. It's just ShoWTimE. He's a beast. He's a beast.
An absolute beast for sure, and we saw that across the series. In game number 1, ShoWTimE really finding again like those edges from the early. I mean, this was definitely the game where I feel like he got a pretty big edge from that first early engagement. You saw him carry that out into a victory. But game number 2, I feel like the smaller, subtler things of just, I believe it was like the Oracle that was actually just so impactful in this game.
This game was actually really close. The blink here onto the stasis, actually, I think, cost Cyan the game.
Yeah.
Because I do believe that ShoWTimE was in a relatively difficult spot.
Yeah.
Like shield battery energy was low, but these fights here, I do love the patience of ShoWTimE just with Zealots not constantly charging into their doom. He really fought, used the shield batteries behind the army. It was just really nice play out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really well done there in game number 2. And then in game number 3, we did see that kind of finally ShoWTimE just deciding to set the pace of things and just getting aggressive in his own right with that proxy robo, trying to punish the greed there of Cyan, and it ended up working out. But even this game, I think, had a couple of moments where you're like, that is a lot of shield batteries. Wait, could Cyan actually defend this? Especially